morning, grade 3-4. Happy pre-Friday. Woo! I hope you had an awesome week. I have some stuff for you today, and it's the last little piece we are going to do on decimals. We're going to add and subtract them. And you had a little bit of practice earlier when we went to Superstore. I had you add up your grocery list items, and you had to subtract some if you went over budget. But I did let you use a calculator. Today, you're going to use your brain power. You're going to put your thinking cap on, and you're going to try it. Two important things to remember when you either add or subtract with decimals. Number one is you always have to have your decimals line up in your equation. And number two, you always have to make sure you bring your decimal down into your answer. So for today, you can find some grocery lists, get 2 items off the grocery list, add them up, and then I suppose you can double check with the calculator. And then choose another 2 items and try subtracting them. And then you can double check yourself with a calculator. So we're gonna try a couple here today, and then you get to try it on your own. So here we go. Here's my grocery lists, and I only have 1 item on each list, which is fine. That's why I have 2 of them. This one here is $15.97. I'm gonna keep that as my top number because this one here, $3.73, is smaller. And it makes it a bit easier if you can always start with the larger number. So $15.97. Do not forget your decimal. $15.97. Alrighty, and next one is $3.73. So very important you write it out nice and neat. Pay attention to your sign. We're gonna add these guys first. My decimals line up. See how my ones place, my tens place, my decimal place. These are not my ones and tens places. Excuse me for that. This is my hundredths, my tenths, my decimal place, my ones place, and my tens place. Everything lines up. So it's very important you are nice and neat. Double check your sign. Are you adding or subtracting? We are adding, starting in our hundredths place. Always start here on this end because our numbers might grow into larger whole numbers. Here we go, 7 plus 3, grade 3-4. Keep the 0 down there, carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 7 is 17. Carry that over. 5 plus 1 plus 3 gives us 9, and 1 over here. Last but not least, we must keep that decimal there. So $15.97 plus $3.73 gives us the grand total of $19.70. If I was going to round this, what number do you think it's closest to? So I'm going to look at my whole number here, and on one side I have 20. On the other side I have 10. 19, is it going to be closer to 10 or closer to 20? It's going to be closer to 20. So I could even round that to $20 is what I end up with. Let's try subtracting these numbers. I'm going to take the same 2 numbers. I'm going to start with the larger guy on top. $15.97 and $3.73. This time my sign is to subtract. So 7 take away 3 is what? Grade 3-4? 4. 9 take away 7. 2. Carry my decimal down. 5 take away 3. 2. 1 take away 0. 1. Which gives me $12.24, and I can round that again to my nearest 10. So I got to think of 12, what two numbers or what two tens surround it, and that's 10 and 20. 12 is closest to 10, so I could even estimate it or give it to $10. Here's our adding and our subtracting. Important thing, always watch your signs. Are you adding or subtracting? Make sure your decimals line up and carry them down into your answer. What happens, grade 3-4, if you get, let me see, 15.38 and your other number is 3.3? How do I line up those numbers? Because here I have a hundredths place, a tenths place, plus my ones, plus my tens. I just have a tenths place here and a ones place. Let me show you a trick. If you get numbers like that, write out your top biggest number. And then we're gonna line this decimal up. So that gives us a 3 here, 3 here, and you know what? We're just gonna add a 0 here as a placeholder. And we can still do this equation. So always, always make sure these decimals line up. Because if you would have done it 15.38 and 3.3, your numbers line up, but look at your decimals. Your decimals don't line up. You need to change that around, give a 0 as a placeholder in the hundredths place, and line it up so those decimals are together before you solve. And then you can go ahead and solve it. Gives us 8, 6, decimal stays down there, 8, 1. And we can round it between the two tens. 18 is between what two tens? Between 20 and 10. So we can estimate it and say 1868 is closer to $20. Go have some fun trying it out today and have a wonderful pre-Friday grade 3-4. See you.